Frank's right here.
He's a one-man stunt show.
I am
He's a one-man man.
He can do basically anything except for get up on time.
Yeah, see, like Jeremiah said to be ready at what, like 7:45?
7:45, we had to be down there.
So here I am. I'm like this.
At
And I
7:45.
hear, knock, 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 knock. And I was like,
No.
oh my gosh. I'm like, what time is it? 7:55. I was like,
Oops.
oh snap.
My name is Frank Stewart, otherwise known as Stewbot, and I am 30-something years old, and I currently reside in Mason City, Iowa. I started riding back when corn wasn't even around. Like we just had maize or whatever. My grandma bought me my first bike in '82. It was a Huffy from Walmart, and at that time, I started getting into the BMX scene, the freestyle part, and jumping everything. And she kept telling me, "Now, Frank, you need to quit jumping them ditches." And I never did listen to her, thank God. But what got me into riding was one of my good friends, Richie Learman. He had a magazine, and this was like in '81, '82, and they had some BMX guys doing tricks like endos, and pretty much it was on after that because we seen that and we were like, wow, that's a weird thing you could be doing on your bike. And so we just started doing endos, and a couple years later he dropped out of it, and I just kept going, and that was in started doing endos in like '82 if I remember right. Built my first ramp in '84, and I've been riding ramp and doing shows like ever since. I never really got good until I was about 29 or 30, and I really pushed myself during the winter months, kind of finding my own little niche, I guess you could say, as to having a certain style, which I don't really have a style, I guess, but I do my own type of tricks, and I guess come up with a lot of different tricks I guess you don't normally see people doing. Well, my first Chaos on Wheels memory was back in '95, I had moved up here from Nebraska and I didn't know anybody, and ended up calling up Jeremiah and met him like the following week, 2 weeks later, and found out it wasn't very far from where I was living, and had a little jam in his backyard, and figured out that he was a really cool guy to hang around with, for one, and his momentum and direction, I could kind of see it at that time that, you know, he loved BMX from, you know, just from what I could tell, and he loved riding his bike. So we ended up being friends from that day forward. When I come to know Jeremiah, I accepted Christ on the way back from a show in Minnesota, and I think everything after that, it's kind of had a purpose and a drive for me to help out with doing shows and bringing kids to come forward and know Christ. I just kind of place myself as bringing them there and getting them set in the right direction. I guess using my skills that God gave me on my bike, and I don't know, that's just my own personal view, but that's the way I kind of look at it. Being on Chaos on Wheels for like the last 10 years has definitely changed my life in the aspect that I've come to know the Lord. I've been able to introduce my kids to Him, and definitely bringing my kids, thankfully letting my kids come to shows, and Jeremiah okaying it. I get to have them travel with me too, which is a blessing, and like it just, I don't know, it just comes around full circle in the end, because it's a very good and positive thing in my life. So I get to see a lot. My kids are involved. They're riding bikes now, so they're going to take over when I'm done. I had to wait for the tree to grow out like 2 years running before I could actually do that trick. So it was a long time coming. First try, did it today, even in the big windstorm. It was good.